Again, and welcome to day 3 of our feature focus for potential improvements in Planet Coaster 2. Today we are looking at pools, but just as a reminder, yesterday and the day before we have talked about hotels, modular kind of hotel buildings, and yesterday we did take a closer look at potential station updates, which seem to be a very important topic considering how many people have been commenting and getting to it. So very nice. I'll potentially make an update on that because there were so many things, very nicely discussed things I may actually have a look at. So today we're talking about pools, but before we jump into this box over here, I mean you again have seen something in the thumbnail, but I just want to quickly highlight, we do have pools obviously in the game. There are a couple of blueprints available, and there is obviously a couple of extras, but we can obviously build our pool ourselves. So we can just go in pools and then we can create a custom one, and it basically is like the path building tool. I just want to quickly pinpoint that for the majority of the pool building, I'm relatively happy with how it is. There's not really that much I would love to change because it is already a rock solid system that allows you for building a lot of cool things. It's majorly quick, and there are a couple of little things I want to talk about, but nothing deal breaking. So expect this not to be a big topic today. There's one topic regarding the pools that I want to get to, like especially the way how pools are built, but this is just one tiny topic. The rest is basically around different things. So just as a heads up, I don't want to discuss the building system too much, as I do think it's quite good. There's not really that much I want to say. So let's roll that thing down, and here we have a look on it. So there are a couple of things, and we are going to start with some basic stuff at the beginning. I want to go to staff first of all and go to staff zones, and you will see there is a pool zone over here. Apparently this is a little hack I used. We don't really have a pool zone. However, this is what I really wish to have. I really wish to be able to set a specific area of the park to be the pool area, and in this specific area it is allowed to use swimsuits only, and in the rest of the park there is no swimsuit allowed. This is super important, and this is why I also use different type of pathings. So let's say this type of path would be the pool path, and this one is the rest. So you're not allowed, whenever you enter the rest of the park, there is no way to have anything else. This for me personally is super important, and this is also why there is like a hedge around it here, just to symbolizing this is kind of an enclosed area. You obviously could go a bit more open with your designs. You could get coasters running through here. No problem at all. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I just think this would be a major thing. So we're going to go from the left-hand side all the way around till this very bit at the end. I try to, again, do some, insights and examples to what I think. So yeah, changing rooms will stay the same. They're fine. They're still pretty big, though. I'd love to have them like smaller boxes, similar to what they were in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, but it's fine. You can still dress them up, and it's not, as I said, it's not a major issue, so I'm trying to go to the major issues. The other thing is, we had a couple of changes to how the system works. So we do have a water temperature regulator, we have the water filtration system, and the water providing kind of thing. I would love to see this being a little bit more harsh, if that's the right thing. I want to have it a bit more of a management aspect. I want to have it a bit more complicated, a bit more punishing, so that the demand is way higher. So you really have to build like a pump workstation or whatnot closer to your pools, because that for me personally is always a little bit too easy. So let's say click on one of these, you've got a water availability of 120, and if you click on a pool, it does tell you it needs water filter 1. Yeah, it does make 1160 per hour, so that's quite crazy when you consider this is like 232 with what it needs. So it's really not that much. Also, can we see how much water goes in here? Filtration, gas capacity. I don't even know how much water goes into the pool. I'm not sure if there's any info on that. Let's see heat maps, if there's a water. Well, it is in that radius, and seemingly it is okay. So again, you don't really have enough info for that. So connected filters is 1, and the filter seems to have enough. If I go to the filter, it has 1 underground well, water tower. Okay, so whatever. You can't really tell. I really wish that would be a little bit improved, so that the pool gives you an info how much cubic meters of water it would need. Also, I'm not sure why we didn't go into cubic meters. I mean, we do have it over here. The pool size is 280 square meters, but that doesn't tell you enough about the cubic meters, which you could try to calculate. Yeah, I'd love to see an improvement in that area, because honestly, this is something for the management people, but also I would like this, so you can see how big and tall your pools are. So let's continue with this little pool over here. It's relatively simple. You can see there's like a change in height elevation over here, and this is exactly I wanted to talk about. So we do have a couple of options to change the height elevations nicely enough. However, this is the kind of technique that Taggy 3D developed, and you can see over here you can still manipulate this at a later stage, but it is relatively finicky, and you can also see that sometimes things just break, you know. You would need to use that little trick of going around here, and you can see there's even that little edge over here that just doesn't quite make it, so we should then connect this. And yeah, it's super finicky. You could theoretically, you can do some nice things, and you can lower and raise this and just make sure that, you know, there are different areas that just go a little bit more smooth into each other, but oops, yeah, just you can see it is complicated. It is not really that feasible. You can use it, but it's also sometimes very hard. And yes, I know the real technique. I'm just gonna quickly show you, because then you get the idea. If I build like a stamp over here, we're going to use the smallest one and build just the stamp pieces. And now if I click on that one and edit this one, because it is just a perfectly fine build now, you could easily now alter the height, as you can see. And then you can do the same and enlarge this on all areas, and then you can make the transitions a lot nicer. You know, you would need to start with the furthest away though to make it nice again. So if I go all the way to the latest over here, and the other hand side too, you can make this a lot more smooth, you know. And now if you want to get this one a little bit altered as well, so there you go. There you have it. I would just love to see a improvement of the smoothness in the transitions in the height elevations. I honestly, this is really where I had a bit of a problem. I would love to just get a smooth tool for the center. We do have the edge smoothing, you know, you can use that, but it doesn't really do anything to that very pool over here, and also in the center it doesn't. I would love to see this just being smoothed a little bit better and just have a bit of control over the shape of the ground of the pool. That would be lovely, because this is again very heavy to work with. Yes, I know how to deal with it. Taggy had some really cool techniques, but does it really need to be that complicated? I don't think so. Now, next up, you can see better jumping towers. I hope it did a good job in faking this one. This obviously is just one jumping tower, as you can see over here. That is the diving board, you know, that one is in here, and you've got this one. Apparently this one is not arrivable or like kind of usable. I might have just tested that if they glitch on it. Maybe I used obviously the trick here to just copy that with the advanced move, and you can then just also put it in midair, you know. That's how you can already deal with it. And sometimes people may actually use it, but it may look kind of weird with the animation. But you know, jumping towers can be absolutely higher than just the 3-meter board we have over here. So that is a 6-meter one, or whatever you want to call that one. I'd love to see this, just a minor little thing, but I would think this is giving the pools a bit more meaning, a bit more nice stuff. Now, next up, as you can see, these things I built very early on for my first pool project in the game, and I still think this is relatively important. This is towels, you know, a towel rack, and there is a towel dispenser where you can put your used towels back in. Usually people bring towels to the pools, or if not, they have a kind of towel rental station or whatnot. This is something I would love to see. I would love to see a facility. You go in here, create a custom, and then we go into, do we have anything? We do have some pool things in here, right? So there should be this little pool. Where is it? There is that sunscreen gift shop. Nope, it's not there for. Hats fantastic. Just a memento. Latte love. But isn't that, it's just like, wait, hold on. I'm just gonna go to the, oops, there you have it. There should also be the one. Looney Balloons is not in here. At the end of the day, it doesn't also even matter. Or just information, maybe? It doesn't matter. Just imagine you've got that thing over here, which is going to sell you some towels as well. We can also literally just steal one over here and just plop the towels on as if this one would be a area to sell towels, you know, just like so. And I'm going to bring another one up here. There you have that. And then you can open this up. I mean, again, you can fake it, as always. You can fake it till you make it. However, this is just really not what I envisioned with this, you know. What I envision is that you really have a proper area to kind of sell towels and people then use towels, and it would also be such a good souvenir shop item, you know. I think this would be nice. So here you have that. It's like a little area to purchase towels, and then the people can actually put them on the different racks and on the different beach chairs and, you know, or sun lounges, I should say. But, you know, I'm a German person, so we Germans are known for that. Whenever we are on holidays, we are going to reserve our sun chair early in the morning by throwing our towels on. So that's that. I really, really would love to see this. Now, next up, you can see there is a staircase leading into the pool, and I do think this would need to be a piece. As you can see, this is not built by... I mean, you can get this done with this technique I should show you, but oh boy, this would be way too complicated. So, nope. Then you can see this is nice. However... this is not all. I have done something else, and this is kind of a splash pad. It's a little bit of a funky idea, but I did use the souvenir shop and I put down a couple of souvenir items, and technically people should then go there to have a look. This would be a very nice implementation for splash pads. As I said earlier and already in all of my update videos, I don't see splash pads being a DLC only feature. If it's coming to the game, I do see it as a free feature first of all, and then maybe custom. And I thought about it as a flat ride, but the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe not. Maybe it is working like the modular souvenir shop, just with animations. Because think about it. If we go to facilities, you could then have, and let's just say souvenir. Did I write that correctly? No, I didn't. Souvenir, there you have that, and you have got all the, are they called shelves? Yeah, there you go. And you've got all the shelves. Just imagine this being now not a shelf, but actually like a splash pad, and then you've got all the different kind of splash pads in here, and you can also, again, connect them to one pool in this case. You don't need this specific thing over here, but you could connect them to a pool, and all of a sudden, you have a splash pad mechanic. People would actively go to specifically the splash pad items, and they would actually use it, and then you can, instead of making them purchase something, you can give them like a boost in, I don't know, happiness or whatnot. So this is the idea to put down a splash pad. I didn't build any crazy stuff because that was just for the sake of giving you an idea how the system would work. Now, moving on, you can see there is a rather big jacuzzi. I know we can get them smaller, but again, just again for the showcase, imagine this being a jacuzzi, a bigger one. You could also imagine having all the seats around here because it's rather deep. We also would need some staircases to higher up, leading kind of pools or whatever, raised pools. That would be fantastic. Again, you could build this, yes, with path and so on, I know, but just for the sake of having a piece, I would love to see the entry points, let's call them that way, the entry points to pools being explored a little bit more with staircases in different sorts, because I think this is what is needed. Now, this next part over here is a rather small fix. You can see still some issues here with the pathway, and yes, this is because the pathway in general looks kind of janky over here, as you can see, because all of the things in. I mean, Taggy has explained that, why that is, because of the certain vertices and so on, that the system just kind of meshes that up. But I would love to see if that's improved to just, I don't know, that the pool forces its side to look fine, or just creates a fine area, because yeah, it just looks kind of odd, and I would need to build a completely new area. Before moving on to some of the last things, yeah, a very, very, very important piece for me, and I can't really think why it's not in game. For me personally, it's so stupid, but yeah, we need showers, and I use the sprinkler to do this. Again, you can make this a custom one, and I also thought about this. You could get them down here by putting a souvenir shop down. However, with the souvenir shop, people would also go there, you guessed it, with clothing on potentially as well. So that's that. Also, just to showcase, this is a nice little height over here. Imagining they stand in the water. Look, this is how they would take a little shower over here. I think this is absolutely fire. This will be really, really cool. And you have a styled version over here, like a wooden version, and this is like the blank version with a bit of a water part on the ground. I don't know. This is just a simple idea for a shower, and again, you can use this as a blueprint, make it more realistic. But does it sell the idea? Just partially, because I would love to have people just actually take a shower, and then you could even bring in a new kind of feature, which would be cleanliness, you know, not only for the pool but also for the people, because going into your pools without showering would then lead up to a lot more stiffy, icky, blah kind of pool, because people should shower before. I mean, imagine them having been on 6 coasters before and it's like 35 degrees outside and they come stinky, slimy and sweaty into the pools, and everyone would do this. This would be not good at all. So you would need to have these showers. And is this going too far? Maybe it is, but I mean, we would love to have realistic pools anyway, so I guess it is a really important thing. And I just imagine having the changing rooms and some showers next to it would be a really nice kind of idea to go in and make it work. So that's that. And some last things we are going to look at, some very simple things over here. This is a just an indicator, you know. This is one of the ideas to make the lazy rivers better. I always have a hard time to see how strong the current is I put in depending on this, and sometimes they just don't work. I would love these things to be treated a bit more like a tracked ride rather than a pool. So I'd be fine actually to have the lazy river move over into a track ride and basically build like an actual ride, you know, without a station, basically. Just people hop in and you can still use the ladders, but make it like a ride. That would help to sell the idea of a lazy river. I really haven't gotten lazy rivers to work at all, which is a pity. So yeah, what shall I say? And this is something I would have loved to see a bit better implemented from the get-go, but this is my idea to improve them just by putting them into a flat ride, or give us more clear indication how to build a lazy river. Or if anything, just give us an option to build a lazy river with the tools, like have a new kind of option here, line style lazy river, and then that would work automatically in the correct depth and so on. Last but not least, because I also do like the series from ZH Plays, who did this kind of lake idea at the beginning, and he had a hard time covering up the whole pool system with a lake. So why not have actual bodies of water becoming a pool? And again, yes, Taggy has shown how you can fake that, but why not just having this? We have volumetric water in game, so either they have already had that in mind for the future, or it is absolutely stupid to have volumetric water in game if that's not for having something interaction with it, because there is literally none. There's literally no interaction whatsoever with the volumetric water in Planet Coaster 2 as of now. So why is it in game? I hope it does get a feature in the future, and this is what I envisioned this to be. Just have a natural pool over here where they can walk in and then just enjoy the time. And yes, you could also just like easily now use the scenery brush on it and then just go to custom ones. I'm not sure, low shrubs over here could do it. And then I'm not sure if can I place, yeah, just place some shrubs around here. I don't know, just have like the idea of a natural little area, and then just, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. It's not meant to be like super crazy right now. I just wanted to make sure that you get the idea of having like a little natural pool, you know. This could be fun. Oops, just yeah, don't mind me throwing some stuff in. I just had the idea that this might look a little nicer now. But yeah, so this is already it about pools. It's a bit of a shorter one today, simply because I do think that the pools in this game were already pretty good, and I talked a lot about the implementation of slides and flumes and all that kind of stuff. I didn't touch upon that because this is more into the rides, and I think this would be more tucked to really DLCs and updates, which I don't want to do. I want to just talk about the available system. When it comes to slides, I think everything has been said. The improvements over time have been mega, you know, having all these incredible improvements over the inflatables, and really like it. So there's no point in me talking too much about them. You can finally also recolor them. All goody, all fine. But at this point, I really would love to see all these smaller improvements to make the pools more coherent, feel more finished, feel the areas more. And for me, this would be way more important than get a new slide type. So fix that first before we get new content. And splash pads, as one of the major things, is included. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you would love to see for pools as well. If there's anything you would say, or maybe you're working at a public pool or swimming pool or whatnot, and you can tell me how you like this and what you would love to improve. Again, little reminder, we have these other topics already discussed, the hotels and stations. Next up will be UI and weather and graphics for the next 2 days. That's for the thematic week, so to say, the feature focus week. And in case you guys want to support the channel, please consider getting games via Instant Gaming. That always helps me out as well. But you can also leave a super thanks if you have really a good time and you want to support the channel. Or just as always, use your hypes, use comments, just watch the video. Yeah, again, I would love to stop saying that all the time, but this is the only way I can somehow improve everything here on the algorithm, and it seems to work, so that's fine. So thank you again for your ongoing support, and now go crazy in the comments again, just like yesterday with the stations. I can't wait to see your feedback. Until then, have a good time. Bye!